are doing like terms and adding like terms. We're going to go ahead and just start with the definition of like terms. Like terms are terms that have the same variables in the same form or equivalent forms. So for now, we want to just find the ones that have the same letters. So we have 2xmp, and we have negative 3mps. We have negative 5mxp. Now we do have a pair of like terms in here. Can anybody tell me which ones they are? Evie? Great, I agree. Can you tell me why they are, even though they don't look exactly the same? They're not in the same order, right? So that's the commutative property of multiplication if we want to get really fancy and technical. The commutative property tells us that we can multiply stuff together and it doesn't matter what order it's in. So this one and this one have the same exact letters. They don't have to have the same numbers. They don't have to have the same numbers, just the same variables. So these ones both have an x, an m, and a p all multiplied together. So they are like terms. So when we want to add these like terms, we have two of them right here. So if we wanted to rewrite this, we could do xmp plus xmp. We have two of them. Right here we have negative 5 of them. That's a little bit harder to write, but technically I guess it would be negative mxp minus mxp 5 times, right? 5 times. So if I want to add two of them and negative 5 of them, how many am I going to end up with? Negative 3 of them, yeah. Negative 3 mxp. When I shove these guys together. This one in the middle we don't really care about anymore. We decided it's not a like term, so we can't combine it. Alrighty, so now we're going to simplify by adding like terms. I want to see everybody going ahead and writing this guy down, this example. Alright, so I see a few different things that are like terms, right? So we have some xy's right here, and we have yx's right here. We already decided that those can be the same, right? Because we have the commutative property. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this guy, that guy are both like terms. Can anybody else give me what else is like terms in here? Andrew?
It's the 3x and the negative 2x.
Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and circle that guy, circle that guy. Now this 4 is just sort of hanging out by itself, right? It doesn't have any variable on it, so we cannot combine it with anything else. It's the only one without a variable. It's just going to stay by itself. We can't squish it together with anything. So we're going to rewrite this. We're going to simplify it by combining these like terms. So I have a negative 2xy and I have a negative 4yx. When I want to scrunch those together, what am I going to get? Micaiah? Yep, negative 6yx or xy, whichever way you want to write it. So we took care of these guys. Now I'm going to do my green. So these are my x's. I have a positive 3x and a negative 2x. How many am I going to end up with? 1x, right? So I'm just going to write plus x. Just x is the same thing as 1x. You could write 1x if you really want to. And finally, I have this plus 4. It's just hanging out by itself. So we're just going to put it at the end. You don't have to put it at the end, but it's just going to stay by itself. Perfect. Here's another example. Go ahead and write this guy down. We have 2xyz plus 3xy minus 2zyx. What's up? 5, did I say it wrong? Minus 5 to 2yx. My apologies. Alright, who can tell me which ones are like terms in here? Monica. I agree. Except we have to make sure we remember that it's a minus 5zyx. So we have 2 of them and we have minus 5 of them. When we want to add those together, how many am I going to be left over with? Negative 3 of them, right? negative 3xyz for that one. And then this middle term doesn't have anything to combine with, so it's just going to stay by itself, plus 3xy. That one was a little bit easier. Okay, now I have 3yac minus 2ac plus 6acy. Fine. Alrighty. Here's one that's a little bit trickier. I'm going to have you guys try this one on your own also. So we have 4 minus x minus 2xy plus 3x minus 7yx. Go ahead and try that one on your own. So our x terms are negative x and positive 3x. All right, so we had a few variations of that. What's happening here is we have negative 1 of them, and we have positive 3 of them. This is where you have to be really careful with your plus and minus signs, guys. So we have 3 minus 1 of them is going to leave us with 2 x's. And then when we do negative 2xy minus 7yx, the negative 2 and the negative 7 are going to give us negative 9yx. That one was definitely a little bit trickier, but just be careful with your pluses and your minuses. All right, go ahead and pull out a whiteboard.